boys and girls, GameCam here. In this series I'm going to be looking at other TF2 YouTubers and basically saying what's good about what they do, what's good about them, what's bad about them. You know, this is not to insult them, because I know that I'm not the best. So, but I don't think that necessarily says you can't point out flaws in others. But this is just saying how they can improve. It's just that. And also to draw attention to them, because quite a lot of them are actually really good. And you should definitely check out. I mean, like, seriously. On all of these, you can always click on the picture and it'll give you a link to the channel. So you should definitely check all these out. So please enjoy the video. Thank you very much. Hello boys and girls, okay, we're starting off with the biggest one here, Kadamono. Now Kadamono does commentary over TF2 gameplay. He usually talks about his life more than anything else. It's more personality based, but he does talk about the game a lot. He also does SMF as well, so you should check out some of that. He does like SMF tutorials and things like that. So that's definitely worth a look at some of those SMF works, because some of them are actually really good. He also does other stuff with friends and things like that, so he does some interesting teamwork things. Obviously, let's move on to the advantages. Advantages of Kadamono. He's a nice guy. He's generally a nice guy. He does a lot of like supporting other channels like I do. I spend a lot of my time watching YouTube channels, like all the time. That's why I started doing this, because I was just sitting there spending like hours and hours on end just watching other people's stuff. So I spend like a considerable amount of time doing this. But yeah, like almost every single time I go onto a channel to comment, I look down the comments and Kadamono's there, just there. He's by far one of the like second. I think he's the only person I've seen who comments almost as much as me on videos, but he comments on loads of different channels and stuff, and really gives them useful advice and really helps them out. And I think that's just generally a good quality in the channel. Another advantage, obviously, he does helpful vids. So he does obviously SMF. Some of the tutorials he does for SMF and things like that are really useful. He does a lot of guides for classes as well, so like how to get better at Scout and Pyro. And generally, all the things he says in there are generally good points that I agree with on quite a lot of levels on a lot of them. So he generally does pretty in-depth and decent guides. I mean, not like hugely in-depth, but they're in-depth enough guides. So he does some really good guides. And all his vids have a generally relaxing vibe. I mean, there's not any screaming or anything like that. So I guess if you're just calming down for the day, I guess a lot of his videos are actually really, really good. So obviously that's the advantages. Now moving on to disadvantages. This is just stuff that but he does have a bit of a monotonous voice. So his voice stays on one level. So he'll talk in a deep voice for like the entire thing. So I mean, that's an issue like I have with singing. You know those Guitar Hero games where you have the mics and you gotta try and get the thing on the right pitch? Mine literally just goes like if that was a person, he'd be dead. It's just flatlines so hard. So obviously he does have the same sort of pitch, so he doesn't like vary at all. It's just sort of the same level. Also, when he does talk about his life, he does talk in very depth about some serious emotional like things, so it can be sometimes considered a tad depressing. That's just personally, but I know that it does help a lot of people to hear about that sort of thing. So again, I do understand personality channels are actually really good in quite a lot of instances, but sometimes they can be a bit. But that's just it. Anyway, that's all for Kadamono. So check out his channel, and also he does lots of fan art. So here's some of the fan art and other stuff that's been done for him. So definitely have a look at some of that. So again, check out his channel. Thank you very much for this bit. Moving on. Alright boys and girls, moving on to our next one. Our next one is Goatee. Goatee does jump videos and soldier montages primarily, but he also did a dapper sniper one, if you have a look here. Dapper, isn't it? Yeah, look at that sniper in action. But yeah, the advantages of that, like the jump ones are generally like, they're not tutorials, they're just him jumping around and stuff. And the soldier montage is actually really good, they got quite a lot of good stuff in them. Advantages of them, obviously the advantages of his videos are some good quality frags. He actually does really good, because he is like a proper competitive player. So he does really good like frags. So you see him like launch a medic into the air and then like air shot him, and it's like, oh baby! So obviously it is very interesting to see him in action. Nice smooth SMF transitions. So like he does loads of cool stuff with Source Filmmaker and things like that, and it really, like, his montages really flow well. So they really do well. Personally, I find some of the music choices, but I think that's just generally personal based. So again, I'm trying to avoid personal based stuff, but again, I'm trying to look at it more of a logical based. But yeah, disadvantages of Goatee is sometimes he has large gaps between videos, and like, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because obviously you want to make sure you have quality frags, but some he doesn't have the right balance. So like, he does have sometimes the long gaps, but he doesn't like wait long enough sometimes. So there can be issues there, but I think he understands that and he's trying to resolve it of what I've seen. Sometimes he does a little too much editing. Sometimes it's hard to see some of the frags through the editing, and maybe you might want to try and tone it down just a little bit. Because I mean, SMF does help smooth it along, transition between the next scene. But sometimes they can be a little too much. I mean, I'll leave a link to one where there is a little too much SMF. But yeah, I think generally, besides that, that's the only disadvantage. He's really good, definitely worth checking out and subbing to, because when he does do montages, they're usually pretty sweet. So definitely worth checking out that one. And let's move on. Maggots! Alright, boys and girls, we're on to our third one here. Woot Pie. Woot Pie. Woot Pie here, I'm probably saying that wrong, I know I'm saying that wrong. You guys can have a go at me in the comments for saying that wrong, but I don't care. I ain't playing by your rules! Yeah, he does TF2 commentary and SMF stuff, so if you look here, you'll see he does some really cool SFM work in there, so some of them are actually really good. So definitely worth checking out some of that stuff. So I'm really interested to see him do like a proper full SFM stuff. So that's going to be really good when he finally gets around to it. But yeah, exciting. Disadvantages of him. He has a good voice for it. He does try and keep it interesting as much as possible, and it is generally relatively he has good voice for it. Fun videos, yeah, generally he keeps light-hearted, generally has a bit of fun with things, so it's generally, pretty good. A nice SFM and intros, so he's got a nice intro there. I thought his intro was very good. So I think that intro is very nice. It is a very nice intro. So definitely very good there. Disadvantages. It does have a sometimes grainy quality to some of his videos. I don't know exactly whether that's I think that might just be technology based. The fact that sometimes his videos do seem a bit grainy, and sometimes there can be like gaps between uploading videos and things like that, and there's not always a consistency sometimes. But again, there was actually really hard pressed for me to find actually problems with that channel. It's a very decent channel, so definitely he does some really good stuff in there though, so definitely worth checking him out again. No, he didn't have any fan art or anything on here, but I'm sure you artistic amongst you and SFM guys can make him sub and give him sub support, because because I think it's really worth it. So thank you very much. Moving on to the next one. Alright, boys and girls, fourth and final one. Lukey Pooky. Yeah, I know. Sounds a bit like you're talking to your dog or your baby. But Lukey Pooky, I guess it works for everyone. It's not bad. It's not bad. I quite like it actually. But yeah, he does commentary on TF2 and some other games. He does some other games here. He does a rat game thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems to be some sort of rat-based version of the Quake. I don't know. But yeah, he does a lot of TF2 commentary. It mainly focuses on the game and stuff, but he does obviously talk about his own life as well. And some of them he does talk about his own life and his own experiences and things like that. And generally, he does actually do really good videos. And I think that obviously the advantages of his videos is that he does keep a really fun commentary. He keeps it relatively light-hearted. It's actually, you're generally engaged into it. It's relatively nice to listen to. It's very upbeat. He does do good footage. All his footage I've found so far is generally relatively good quality footage, and it's not just him dying loads. It's actually generally him doing actually pretty well. Because obviously, as much as no one likes really watching him loser all the time, do they? I mean, sometimes if the commentary is good, it can keep it in. But people want winners. So yeah, he does do a very good footage for that sort of thing. And the disadvantages, now this is just me being extremely picky, but I pick up on it a lot, which is he uses too many connectives. So he said, if you want, watch his scout commentary on the this video. I'll put a lot, there'll probably be a link thing to it, but watch this in the bottom right or something, and watch it. And drink every time you hear him say the word "like," and you will be pissed before the end. You will probably have liver damage. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of Americans do it, and I can understand that. I used to be really bad for saying all the time, but I've worked on improving it. But yeah, like I just said that. I just said there. I just did it. So I do understand that it can be, but it's just all the time. It just drives you insane. That's just me. Again, I think this is all very nitpicky of me. I'm being unreasonably harsh sometimes. But besides that, it's all very good quality stuff. And I think that he deserves a lot more than he actually gets. I mean, I'm surprised how low subs he actually has compared to the quality of his videos, because some of them are actually really good. So I definitely recommend you give him a sub. I mean, come on, dude. You can't get much better than some of the stuff he turns out. I mean, come on. So definitely, thank you very much again for watching this. I hope you check out all these channels. This one was done. I'm actually doing this on my birthday. Lucky me. So starting a new series on my birthday. I'll be doing some more, obviously, coming soon. So obviously check that out soon. Thank you very much.
Obviously, if you'd like to introduce yourself, name, what you main, etc, etc.
Okay, so my name is Bloodis. I've been playing in Q for 3 times when it has been live. Yes, had a rough time. Has sometimes being folding, sometimes still being reborn. But then again, mostly I've been playing Scout and Engineer in the team. But currently I'm playing Scout and maining it and leading the whole team as well.
Okay, good. I would say then, obviously, what's your other sort of class you like to play the most? But I guess that would be Engineer. Is there any others besides Engineer that you like to play on the side?
Well, I don't really enjoy playing Engineer that much at the current state. I always wanted to think of myself as Scout main in the end. Since I started playing as Scout and I still want to play Scout. I don't really want to play